guys, my name is Charlene and today I'm gonna teach you how to make crepes. It's a French traditional dish that we do often, and so I'm gonna give you instructions so you can make the best crepes ever. So there will be 3 steps. The first step will be the setup, the second step will be the preparation, and the third step will be the cooking part. So for the setup part, what you need to do is to have a bowl like that, enough big so you can have all the preparation in it. Then you need a strainer, a whisk, a wooden spatula, and a fry pan. Okay, so now we are with the step of the preparation. So we're gonna start with the flour. I'm gonna use a strainer so I can put all the flour through the strainer. That way, all the flour, we make sure that this is really thin. So we're just gonna try like that, and we just need gonna check a little, and it will kind of be very fast. And if you want to make it faster, you can always use the wooden spatula and just like mix like that, so you can go faster. So this technique is kind of like to make sure that whenever you have the milk later and the eggs, you make sure that all the flour is well mixed with it, because otherwise it will make like big chunks of flour together and it's not going to be really nice at the end. So then whenever I have the flour like that, I'm just gonna put my hand, of course I wash my hands, and just make like a hole in the middle. Like that. So this is what we call a fontaine. So we're just gonna spread it over and make a huge hole in the middle. Alright, then when you're ready, you just need to break the 3 eggs, and so you can batter like that. Just make sure that any part of shell is mixed to it, which is kind of obvious, but you just don't want to kind of have like some chunks in it. So just make sure like there's nothing, and then you just batter them like if you were about to make an omelette. Alright. So here it is. And then all you need to do, whenever this is batter, you just need to put right in the middle where you make a hole. Okay, so now that we put the eggs, we're gonna add a little bit of salt, just like that, just a small fingerful, and just to put in the middle. And then I put the butter in the microwave so we can melt it. Try to do this beforehand, that way it can like cool down a little bit. So once you're done with that, you just put it together with the egg and the salt. The butter is gonna help to give the color, the golden color to the crepes at the end. So you'll see at the end, but this is the main important thing to do, is to have the butter with it. And now with the wooden spatula, I'm just gonna gathering all the flour that I put all around and put in the middle, so it can be mixed a little. And you can always turn the bowl like that, so it can be easier. Alright, and now I'm just mixing. Alright, then it's gonna turn to be like a little chunky, kind of doughy texture a little bit. So for now I'm just gonna make sure that we have that yellow color everywhere. Okay, so this part will be kind of tricky because you will need, while you mix with the whisk, you will need to pour slowly, little by little, the milk. So whenever you by yourself, it's kind of hard. So what I usually do, I just pour a little at the beginning, was very little, and then I just mixed everything together. It's gonna be kind of hard because the whisk is gonna take everything together, but what you just need to do is keep mixing and stirring, like that. And then when you see it's done, there's no more milk, you just keep pouring. If there was like someone else, that would have been great, like an assistant or something, so that way that person will keep pouring the milk and you will just keep stirring. So since I'm by myself, I'm just gonna do like that, up, and just try to mix the preparation with the milk. So what you're trying to do at the end is to make sure that the dough becomes liquid, completely liquid. So the milk is gonna help to make it liquid. And hopefully it will be. And if you see that at the end when you have no more milk and you see that it's still doughy, you can always add more milk. Like the milk is the one that will adjust the texture of the dough. So I said that for sure we'll need half a liter of milk, but if you see that it's still doughy or like not liquid enough, you can always add more milk. But we'll see at the end. But what we want is not like liquid, it's like water, but just like kind of a huge dough that is very liquid. So let's see how it's gonna go. For this part, I'm gonna use the strainer again because you never know, even if you have used the strainer at the beginning, you might still have some chunks of flour. So what I usually do is I put all the preparation again through the strainer like that. So that way we can make sure that way we prevent all the chunks to go through and make sure that the texture is really smooth and without no chunks. So I'm just gonna do like that and stir a little. So you see like how the texture is very smooth and perfect now. And see, you still have like some chunks that could have been there if we didn't put it through the strainer. Okay, so once we have done that, we're just gonna leave the dough to leave like a little in the fridge so we can cool down a little bit. So we're just gonna put some foil. And leave it in the fridge for around maybe 15 to 30 minutes. Alright, so now is finally the third step, which is the cooking part. I just removed the preparation and I kind of mixed all together. Like you can see, it got thicker a little bit. So now what we're gonna need is to have the fry pan ready. Like I'm heating it up right now. I put it medium, a little over medium, like just a little higher so it can be fast. I have the canola oil that I'm gonna use every time before I put a crepe, because that way we make sure that the crepe doesn't burn. And I prepare a plate with a napkin so that way whenever we put the crepe, all the grease from the canola oil will be absorbed by the napkin. Okay, let's start now to cook the crepes. So like I said, every time you need to put some canola oil, just very far from here. And here. You need to make sure that the fry pan is really hot. And every time as well, I'll just mix the crepe just to make sure that everything is ready and mixed and well stirred and smooth. And of course, my first crepe will be kind of like the first try, so it will determine if I need more milk or not, since it got thicker or not. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put it in the middle and then just up. Well, I should have put a little more, so let's do this. The first one usually, to be honest, it's always messed up, because since it's the first time, I guess, I don't know, maybe the fried pan needs to kind of get used to, I don't know, the cooking part, or I don't know, but the first crepe is usually the worst, like the ugliest. But trust me, after they'll be all pretty. So I'm just gonna wait. Alright, do you see now the edges? Whenever you see this edge being like cooked already, you just need to check under, like I do, if it's kind of like already cooked. So you see that it's like, well, the color is gold, like we want it from the butter. So now I'm just gonna flip it over, and that's it. And then I'm just gonna it's not kind of normal that there's like some hair under and it kind of like gets swollen, but that's completely normal. So what I do normally, technically each side will be from 1 to 2 minutes to be cooked. So we're just gonna wait a little, and then I'll just make sure that of course under is not burned, and then it should be all pretty to go. Okay, so now this should be ready like you see. So I'm just gonna put like that up, and now I'm gonna be ready for the next. So now what I'm just gonna do is just keep doing the same. I'm just gonna make sure that all the crepes is removed. And let's do it this time. Usually this takes time, but it will be fast. So again, I mix. I put a big spoon of crepe. Okay, this one will be a little bit more of dough, so it will take a little more time, but normally it should be fine. And if you think, you can judge, you see if you think that you can maybe like handle more heat, you can always like just increase to over medium or medium high, and then you just need to make sure that you like be careful like that is not getting burned, and then handle it. So I'm just gonna put it a little higher, that way it will go faster, and normally it should be okay. Okay, so here are the results. This is the crepes that we made. Usually we should probably over like a little more than 10 crepes. So now what you can do is you can choose whatever toppings you like, or you can just let the crepes like that and let your friends or your family decide what they want, or you can make in advance. So here I'm just gonna show you like what we can do. Usually we eat either with jam, Nutella, or you also have butter, but you also can eat it like plain. Usually they are very good. So I'm just gonna show you very quickly how we do. Of course, Nutella is the kind of the favorite one that we like eating because it's like very tasty. So you don't have to put a lot, you just can put it like that. And then what I usually do is like you can either roll it, or what I do is like to put in triangle. So here you go. So I just put like 2 kinds, so that way you can see what you can do. And then what you only need to try is just what you only need to do is to try, and you can like have milk with it, or what we usually do is to have cider with it. That's what we usually drink with. Alright, now it's your turn to try and enjoy it.